Hi guys, hopefully you've already watched the video before this and you've listened to the two stories, the story of Ruby Bridges and Amazing Grace. I'm going to explain the graphic organizer that goes along with this story and or the two stories, and then the next video will be how to take the graphic organizer and put it into a writing. So you will be able to see this graphic organizer. You can make one just by drawing and copying it on a separate piece of paper. Or if you choose not to use the Ruby Bridges story or the Amazing Grace story, you could draw a similar graphic organizer with your own characters. So the writing that we're going to do is about overcoming a challenge. It would be, kind of using different words of the theme that I had discussed earlier, which was if you put your mind to it, you can do it, which would be similar to overcoming a challenge. So the graphic organizer itself looks like this. In the center of it is I had to overcome a challenge when, and you're going to compare two things that you had to do that would be similar to two things Ruby had to do. And you're going to compare two things you had to do that would be similar to two things you had to do, or the two things that Grace had to do to overcome her challenge. And so I decided to write about overcoming the challenge of learning how to snow ski. Um, and so that's the first step in completing the graphic organizer. And then the second step is to decide how you're going to relate it to one of the characters. So I chose to relate it to Ruby first. You do not have to go in any particular order. This is just how I chose to do it. So I had to overcome a challenge when I learned to snow ski, and I related that to um, having to um, take my time and ski through crowds of people. So if you've ever gone snow skiing, there are usually a lot of people there. And I related that to when Ruby just simply walked slowly through crowds of people. I also related it to how I really try to stick by myself. I taught myself some things by myself without anybody around on the hill. And I related it to Ruby learning in the classroom by herself without having any classmates with her. The next one, same information with Ruby, but I also compared to Grace this time. So I learned to snow ski. I watched several skiers ski so that I understood how to do it. And that's similar to when Grace went to the ballet to watch a dancer perform. And I learned to snow ski. I just practiced over and over, skiing downhill until I could be successful, just like when Grace practiced her part all weekend before having to try out for the play. So, as you can see, I'm relating different parts of me learning to snow ski to Ruby and Grace. If you were to have trouble relating to Ruby and Grace, you could certainly write your own having to overcome a challenge and relate it to a book you're reading, a book you have at home, a book that you really love dearly. It does not have to be just about Ruby and Grace. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to take this graphic organizer and turn it into a 6-paragraph writing. If 6 paragraphs seems overwhelming to you, you could do it in 3 paragraphs. You could cut this in half and only relate it to Ruby or only relate it to Grace. I found my challenge was working perfect with being able to relate it to both of them.